We love you, Shanna! Alright, first of all, congratulations to everyone on making it through. But of course, the reason we're here is because of our amazing third eye class. Yeah. Those of us who started out in pre-IB 3 years ago got to know each other very well within the first few days. We completely stripped down because we had nothing to hide. Yeah. Literally stripped down. A shocking experience for most, but in no time, we couldn't have known each other better and we were closer than ever. However, as the year went on, we learned that being an IB student isn't just fun and games. And when we got as far as to choosing our 6 subjects for the 2 following years, some of us started to think, what did I get myself into? When second eye came around, most of us thought, seriously, what did I get myself into? Our class grew. We went from being 2 classes of about 30 students to 1 class of about 80. But reality truly hit when third eye started. It was our senior year and everyone was a mess. We weren't certain we'd make it to our exams. One thing the IBs are known for is complaining about our workload. And for the past 2 years, we have complained. A lot. Having to write IAs, do CAS, and write our standard essays took its toll. We kicked ourselves for choosing to write our EEs on science, math high level, or even Shakespeare. What seemed to be such a brilliant idea before the summer turned out to be complete academic suicide. Luckily, we had our study trip to Glasgow the day after our EE deadline. A week in beautiful Scotland, in which we could recover from all our hard work. A week the teachers would then have to recover from when they came back. Kurt, Jesper, Ulrich, Juliana, we are so very sorry. However, we did get to enjoy a science-themed study trip. The biology class were dragged up mountains and out on field trips in the Scottish Highlands. The physics class got to truly appreciate the power of nuclear physics. And the chemistry class, well, we had to make slime. Our own personal flubber, and yes, we named them. Ingeborg will forever be missed. When we weren't studying grass, or going to power plants, or playing with slime, we were given the opportunity to experience all that Glasgow has to offer, meaning cheap beer and a huge Primark just down the road. We did learn something else too, though. Many new words, none of them Scottish. Trust me, you'll never be able to find a class who can argue more passionately about whether the air conditioning in the bus should be on or off. As I said, many new words were learnt that day, none of which are appropriate to repeat, ever.
You know, I have prepared a really neat, academically correct, IBO-approved speech. With topic sentences, relevant points, and reference to at least 2 areas of knowledge, and elegant use of alliterations, assonance, metaphors, and enough stylistic devices to make even Jim denote that I probably only need to twitch in a bit more before it's done. But I wouldn't be capable of calling myself a proper IB student if I actually admitted to have prepared my homework, nor actually using what we have learned to anything useful. So instead, I will give you my last piece of improvised bullshit. IB is an incredible experience. An extremely hard, obnoxious, marathon-like experience. But it is an experience that I would never change for anything in the world. Not necessarily for the many great moments it has given to us, courtesy of our teachers, nor is it because of the excellent history course. That deserves a speech entirely on its own. No, when I said it is obviously because we had the honor of suffering through it together. The true and fabled soul of the IB, its students.
It's students whose mission in life is to fulfill the IB learner profile. And how did we do? Well, let's see. As an IB student, you should be an inquirer, knowledgeable, and a critical thinker. We quickly learned to assess every situation and challenge we faced, and came to know that if it seems too good to be true, it usually is. No, not usually, always. IB students are meant to be communicators, principled and open-minded. We've definitely become more open-minded to new ways of communicating inappropriate messages, and then dealing with the aftermath, of course. We're meant to be reflective and to be risk takers. We took risks every weekend. The IB certainly became known for their parties, and our weekly caffeine and alcohol consumption, in that order, could probably fill an Olympic-sized pool. We would then reflect on all the bad decisions we'd made the previous night, although that didn't prevent us from repeating them. The two final traits of the IB learner profile are to be caring and balanced. We learned to care for each other during the many mental breakdowns that the IB diploma program caused us. And balanced? Trust me, once you've been through the IB, you will never be balanced. This is probably the reason why some of our classmates switched from the IB, and then switched back. Once an IB student, always an IB student.
When I came out from my last exam, and being mildly intoxicated from my obviously single boy glass of champagne, talked with other people about being done, I said I was happy. And some of me was. But for the most part, it was a lie. I was not happy, I was bloody terrified. I was scared of the IB being over, because looming over our heads is this dark, gloomy question: what now? I think I will attempt to answer this research question using everyone's favorite subject, TOK. I will tell a story about birds. And I am terribly sorry to all for the cliched example, but do you have any idea how hard it is to make a philosophical anecdotal story about crabs? Sorry, Ulrich. We are like birds, and the IB is our nest. When birds reach a certain point in their lives, when the nest is getting too small for them, and the older birds cannot be bothered to feed them anymore, it is time for the young to fly, something which they have never tried before. Their entire lives has led up to this moment. They have prepared for it, and they should possess all the necessary tools. What do they have to be afraid of? I would argue a horrible death, or permanent damage leading to such horrible death at a later time. But already there, I must rewind. I do not believe the question is whether or not to be afraid. Such questions are pointless. I can assure you, fear, much like the IBO, will get to you no matter how hard you tell it that it is real, or that your cat actually is real. It is what you do with it that is interesting. I believe we should embrace this fear. There can be no courage without fear. There can be no excitement without fear. No true victories without conquering fear. I think that we need this fear to fly. So now that we are being pushed over the top of the IB nest, and the ground suddenly approaches fast, I beg of you, do not just throw this moment of panic away. Cherish it, remember it, and then fly away to your uncertain future, flapping your wings and singing your song of infinite adventure. And I hope that when I have flown with the winds, settled down, built my nest, perhaps spending my days catching worms to unforgiving young ones, I might carry the voice of your songs to me, of all your stories comprised in this sweet music. And I shall join in with all my voice, and friends, it shall be glorious. So, for the last time, as my fellow students, I am proud to have served with you. And now, quite frankly, I need a break!